Hi, this is Steve Hunt with Communities of Excellence. Today we are with Katia Ravé talking about time management. Katia is a certified life and career strategist and is an expert on all matters that have to do with setting goals, achieving goals, and improving our personal and professional lives. Today she's talking about time management and will tell us how to build important skills like how to say no and how to delegate whatever can be delegated, and then how to schedule important tasks for the day and the week ahead, and most importantly, how to knock off the most urgent tasks so they get done quickly. She'll show us a technique called the Eisenhower technique, which is a template for managing time. Well, I'm very happy to be here with Katia Ravé. Katia, you're a life and career strategy coach. How do you describe to people what you do for a living?
Oh, what a good question. I serve others really to better their lives, whether it's at home or at work. I help them to be more organized, to be more efficient. I help them to have a time management schedule. I help them with their goals. It's really a cross between life and work.
In the time I've known you, you've certainly helped me with my goals, articulating goals, setting them, and then achieving the goals. And you've got a real process for doing that. And one of the key building blocks to setting and achieving goals is time management, because I know for me, I'll dream big. I'm kind of a dreamer and not really a detail person. And so I'll dream up a great goal and I'll think more or less the steps to achieve that goal and what I need in place to achieve it. But then getting started and allocating time for it each day or each week is hard for me. And I think it's hard for a lot of people. But you seem to have come up with a way of helping people not just set and achieve goals on an annual scale, but also on a daily scale, just how to get through the day more efficiently and effectively. And I hope you'll share some of your wisdom with us now.
Yes. I'm very honored then you asked me to do that. But everything you just said is really true, and you are not the only person who have issues with that. I think even me at the beginning, to tell you the truth, I was very happy to see that we all have amazing ideas and we have big goals, but when it's time to really take it down into how do we achieve them, then we lose focus. And when we lose focus, we're like, oh, I wasted my time. And then the ideas just go into another bucket with all the other great ideas that we had. So I hope I'll be able to help you and give you a couple of options on how to do that.
Okay. Could we talk then about two types of time management? One, setting time for big goals that are going to take months to achieve. One thing I did recently was learned a new language on Duolingo, and I've discussed that with you a number of times. And on Duolingo, it motivates you, it reminds you by email, and it helped me to maintain a streak. It gave me motivation to have a daily streak, so I never missed each day. But still, I had to think about what time during the day would I spend my 15 minutes doing Duolingo, or my 30 minutes.
In a way, that little owl of Duolingo was your coach, reminding you, hey, you need to, you haven't been on today, or,
Well,
so.
I definitely need a coach for a lot of my goals. So I'm wondering if there is a different way of maintaining momentum toward a goal over a long duration of time, like months? And then is that different than waking up and starting your day with a to-do list and then working your way through that list just for the day?
So I think that's actually a very, very good question. There is two kinds. You have your long-term goals, and usually how I work with most clients, it's what is the goal you have at the end of the year? What is the most big goal that you have? And then we work backward, knowing how you work as a person. To make it easy, I will give you some example. I know for me, in the summer, I travel internationally. I don't do much work. This is a time that I allocate for my children, for my family, visiting and traveling. So I know then June and July are month, then I don't work much. So going backward, if I have a goal in December, where do I need to be in September for me to be able to achieve that? Knowing that I don't work much in the summer, where do I need to be in May? And then I also know that January and February, I work a little bit more because time, the darkness comes like around 4:30, 5 o'clock, and I love working during the night. And it makes me feel like, it's still nighttime. And so I actually do work longer January and February. So knowing how I process and how I work is really important for me to accommodate my schedule. So going backward is really a good way to accomplish long-term goals. And then when I know that, when I have that, for me, I divide by quarter. And then I go back. Then I'm like, okay, now I know in January, this needs to be achieved. Because December, that's what needs to be done, knowing that in the summer, there is basically 2 months off. So then in January, I progress and I divide in 4 weeks. And this is where comes the daily things. 4 weeks, however, the first week of January, I know it's not too productive for me because I still have family in town, usually until the 8th. And I know that those days are not very much. So I know I have only really 3 weeks to achieve what I would regularly achieve in 4 weeks. So knowing that and knowing my way of living is really helpful for me to be able to plan ahead.
Oh, very good. I can imagine anybody who's watching this now might be tempted to call you up and ask you for your help. So you don't be surprised if the phone starts ringing after members of the Excellence will see this video.
Yes, I would welcome them.
Okay, thanks. Okay, so now for the day, though, just for the day, it seems like I'd have to have a different frame of mind than thinking of my big end result at the end of the day, because my end result at the end of the day is to feel like I accomplished something, feel good about my day, be a little bit tired, but also charged up for my accomplishments. So that's my feeling, but I wouldn't know how to go about creating that feeling just from what I think of as a to-do list, but maybe you have a different way of thinking about time management.
Yes. So now then we know where we want to be in some ways in 2000, at the end of 2019 going backwards. I know then in January I have some allocated time for my big goals, and then there is all the small things. So I do a log for my week, and I know at the end of the week what I want to accomplish. When I know that, I can divide that into my 5 days or 4 days or 3 days, whichever, I'm going to work. And then in the morning, I do divide. So I use the Eisenhower, and you can help me, Stephen, my accent.
Eisenhower, just like the name of the president. Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, okay.
Just a little history and fun fact on that. He was the president, but before that, he was the general, and he's the one who actually led the people of Normandy into victory. So He's very, very close to my heart, as this is home for me. But I do use his system, and I don't know if you can you see my screen at all? Do you want to share my screen for hold on, just a
so you can just click share, I think, on your screen.
I didn't know if I could do that if I was on the. Wow, you get to see all my beautiful work here. Look at that. Can you see my screen at all now?
We just see what looks like your PowerPoint slide.
Okay. All right. Can you see the? All right. So you see the 4 quadrants?
Yes.
Okay. Here you go. Yes.
Quadrants.
All right. So I do this every day. I have a do first, urgent. So what you see
is urgent. Okay.
Yeah, do first is urgent. Schedule is the non-urgent. Delegate is really delegating, and don't do. So Eisenhower was very well known for accomplishing so much in so little time, and he really shared with everybody how he was doing, and this is what he did. There's many apps for it. I personally, Steve, enjoy paper, so I'm still the old-fashioned way. So I do this every day, and I do write down, what's urgent, what do I need to do, what's not urgent, and really what has to be delegated. This is a very hard part for people who are in leadership position. Then I see a lot. Delegating, we want to believe then because we know how to do things and we know how to make it, and we want the satisfaction also at the end of the day to have done it, it's very hard for us to delegate. It's a very big, important part, I feel, of time management, knowing what we can pass on and who can be done, maybe not exactly the same way than we would do it, but pretty close, is going to make us gain time somewhere else where we can be more productive and really achieve more.
Okay, so let's work backwards on this one. For me, I think the hardest part for me is deciding to put something in the don't do section. I'll feel guilty. I'll feel like I shouldn't just say no to things. I imagine I'm not alone in that too, or maybe some people will put just everything in the don't do.
So no, I think you're very right. That's a legitimate feeling, and we don't like to say no. It's hard to say no. We do feel guilty. This is why I tell my clients, you need to get on the no train. So to give you an example, if I may, I think that would help out. I actually decide what I don't do according to the time, how good it is really for me, my business in this instance. How long does it take of preparation? How long does it take of after the event is done, or after, for example, this meeting? I knew I needed to do a little bit of preparation. I know that I'm going to take a couple of notes afterward. And this is, something good, for the company. Is it bringing me joy? Is it good for my business? And at the end, I allocated the amount of time that it was going to take altogether. Is it worth for me to do it? The answer was yes. It was an easy yes. So yes, I do. But sometimes there's some of those events, if it takes me an hour and a half driving to go to an event, plus an hour and a half of prep, if it's something who's like, I don't know if it's really going to be that beneficial for that goal in 2019 that I want going to achieve. And I always keep that goal, December 2019 for me, or 2000, whichever year, you're in, is really what I keep in my mind every morning. And when I have that, it's really helpful and easy to say, no, this doesn't align with my goal.
It sounds like if you're clear about your goals, and clear about your goals, and have some criteria for determining what is worth your time, then you'll be able to filter new requests for your time very quickly to decide whether to say no or not. I read it might have been in Ray Dalio's book, Principles. I think it was.
I love that book. Love that book.
That there are many great leaders who are excellent at saying no. And it's not that they don't want to help people. In fact, quite the opposite. Some of these are the greatest philanthropists in the world who are great at saying no, because they set a goal, something that they want to achieve to make the world a better place, and they let nothing distract them from that goal, nothing that's not aligned with their values, their objectives, and is in general worth their time. So you're saying if we have these criteria clear in our mind, we can clearly and easily add things to the don't do list, and then for the do list, we have 3 places to possibly put it.
That's correct, and
Okay.
I think you're very right. If you have your goal, if your goal is to get promoted to a different title, there's a lot of things that you do sometimes who don't align with it, and when you see it every day in front of you, it just really keeps motivating you to to achieving your goal. Is it aligned or is it not aligned?
Very good. Okay. So now the next one on the bottom is delegate. Delegate is one that it sounds easy and obvious, but it also sounds a little bit like a cop-out. For example, if I get an email from someone that says, "Hey, Steve, join us in this meeting at 2:00," and I'll quickly say, "Can I send Mike instead in my place?" Is that legitimate delegating, or am I copying out? Is it okay either way?
I don't think it's I think only you know if it's a copying out, and again, the writing it down is very good. In the morning when you're like, ugh, I don't want to go because X, Y, or Z, try to understand why you don't want to go. And I think when you have that very clear, then you're like, hey, you're going to feel guilty if you don't, if you decide to delegate for the wrong reason. So this is where core values come in. Are you being true to yourself? Or, I believe then coping out is sometimes a way then we lie to ourselves. And we just decide, oh, we have this way out. And you'll feel guilty if that happens.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Delegating will be pretty straightforward in some cases, especially for members of the communities of excellence who are team leaders. They'll know when to delegate something to a member of the team. In fact, well, maybe not actually. I've had conversations with some members of the community who do have trouble delegating, and they try, even if they're team leaders or managers, they try to keep their fingers in every pot. And sometimes we have to even we might say we're delegating, but we'll have to be more honest with ourselves and truly delegate, truly empower that member to do the task that we're asking them to do, and then learn from the mistakes and accept mistakes. Ray Dalio just posted another thing. He said, you should create an environment in which mistakes are acceptable, but it's unacceptable to not learn from them. So if we do that, I think then delegation will be more and more successful. Okay, so we've got don't do and delegate.
I do, if you don't mind me saying, I do think also then, sometimes we don't want to delegate because we like to micromanage. We like to be in charge, and it makes us feel powerful. And this is something then, people probably have to deal with. But if we hire so many, millennium who are amazing, and they have an amazing brain, and they don't think the same, than I'm from the Gen X generation. I know the millennium sometimes impress me, and we need to let them take some guidance, and we don't have to always micromanage, and maybe we'll be surprised to see what they can come with, what they come up with, or what kind of ideas.
Okay, so I got those. Those were both tough for me, but the top two are tough for me too. What you called urgent and not urgent, the do right away and the do later boxes. How do I decide what goes in them?
So I'm going to show you. I don't know if I can. You don't see my screen anymore, Steve, right? Okay, I'm going to show you my mine. I don't know if you can see here.
Oh, yeah, I see that.
So you see, you have the urgent, non-urgent, the delegate, the no. For me, I do like the non-urgent to be, it's something that I know needs to be done this week. If I get to it, great. But I like to have a lot more on my non-urgent than on my urgent, because that means then I was proactive. I don't really wait until things are becoming urgent, because in a way that means then I procrastinate. And I don't know if you can see, there's I usually have more actually on this one on my non-urgent than I do on my urgent. But with the holidays, we are right after the holidays right now, and there is a lot of things who need to be taken care of today. And when that happens, we also have the feeling of anxiety. So when we become anxious, we also short temper, and there's all these great qualities that we can have when we have too much on our urgent, and we're not really enjoyable to be around, either for our staff or or the people who work around us. So I usually try to have a lot more non-urgent and take care of that in plenty of time. That way I don't feel rushed. However, there's a difference between women and men. And I definitely see then when I work with men, they have usually a little bit more on the, on the urgent than on the non-urgent. Guys seems like they do like to work with a little bit more pressure and a very easy timeline.
All right, very good. Okay, so now let's talk. We now know what goes in each box. We know that we should have this box. Are we doing this? Are we setting these boxes up every single morning, a new page where we scratch out our lines? Or are we doing it just on Monday mornings or just on Sunday nights? How often are we doing this exercise?
I believe if you really want to be proactive and achieving your goal, every day. It literally takes me 5 minutes to do this. And it also helps me to kind of, I don't want to use the word meditate, but it's really a good setup for me for the day. It's like, hey, what are my goals today? What am I going to achieve? What is my goal for 2019? It just helps me to get into the mood and get fired up and have the energy to tackle my day without being negative. I feel in control. And when I know that I'm in control, the day is amazing. I know, okay, there's so much to do. So, all right, let me look at my computer. Now I know, yeah, I had a lunch that I really wanted to take with this friend. Well, today it's probably not the best day for that. That's why I'm not stressed. I eliminate the stress before it even comes. Does that make sense?
Yeah, very good. It's like a to-do list, but with structure and no extra work. I scribble down to-do lists for myself, and they're often overwhelming because I don't really have a way of prioritizing the items on the list. And your solution, this Eisenhower process, will allow me, I was thinking while you were talking, I could just scribble down a to-do list and then transcribe things and put them in the right boxes. But actually, now that I'm getting a feel for those different boxes, I don't have to make the to-do list at all. I can just think of something and scribble it down in the right box at the right time, immediately. And then as things
Yes.
pop up during the day, I can add them to the appropriate box so that they don't distract me from the urgent things that I really need to do right away.
Correct. And you know, you have some people who can take it further. I know for me, when I do this, I come up with a word who's going to be my word of the day. So I can tell you, you know, today was create. You know, and that word is aligned with my goal of 2019. And today, create, because I know we were going to create this video, and I have a couple of things, you know, to do all lined up. And I was like, okay, I'm in creation mode today. And it just, so it's, again, it's easy. Like if someone shows up in my office today and say, hey, Katia, I need you to do this. Well, is it really aligning with what I have? Can I fit something else? Well, no, it's, my day's pretty full already. So I feel like when you have a vision and for how your day is going to be, you're totally in control of, and then the done, you're totally in control of your time, of your day, of your anxiety, of your stress. And then you really know what not to do and what to say no to.
All right, very good. I'll post a slide right after this conversation so all the viewers can see your takeaways from this conversation. And thank you very much for your time. I feel like I'm much more organized already, and I'm ready to dive into my 4 boxes of the Eisenhower time management process. Thank you, Katia.
Thank you so much, Steve, for this time. Have a great day.
This has been a production of Communities of Excellence, all rights reserved. Thank you for listening.